Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. We have with us guests all the way from America, the current, the new IBF champion of the world, Callum Truax. Caleb, how are we doing?
I'm doing real good. I'm trying to beat this cold here in Minnesota, man. It's freezing out here.
Well, we spoke to you in the pre-fight before you came. After you won the title. That's nice. That's our confirmation that we're live. So since since you're leaving the UK, okay, let's talk about the end of the fight, of course, for you now, looking back. And talk to us about winning the title, those moments after winning the title, the few days you spent in the UK. I think you were asking people if they wanted to meet you for a pint or they were going to buy you a pint. Talk to us about all of that stuff in London.
Oh man, I had a blast in the UK, man. It was my first time ever going to London or being anywhere in Europe, and my trainer and I decided to stay an extra 3 days after the fight. So we were supposed to leave on Sunday. We decided to stay till Wednesday, and we had a great time after. Obviously, it was more fun that I won that I won the fight afterwards, and get to celebrate than it would have been if I were to have lost. But it was great, man. The people were great. We went out to some pubs and watched a little. I think we watched the Manchester United soccer game the next day, and then we watched some NFL football after that. And everybody was awesome at the bar. We had some pints and probably drank too much and walked back home to the hotel and did the next thing for the next, or did the same thing for the next 2 days. So it was a good time, man.
Fantastic. Before you could even get on the plane to get back to America, people were talking rematch, contract, Al Heyman, James Degale. In all the time that you were having knocking your pints back, did rematch clause go through your mind at all? Did Al Heyman give you a call in between your pint and say to you, "Wait, what happened? Talk to us about that before you got on the plane to America."
I spoke to Al while I was in London, and he just called to congratulate me and on a great effort, and said he had some awesome things planned for me in the near future, and basically just a call to congratulate me on winning the title and overcoming what I've overcome, and so it was nice to talk to him. But I'm not exactly sure what the language in the contract says as far as the rematch clause. I know that there are rematches in talks, and even if there isn't a rematch clause, I'm 100% open to it. I mean, if it's gonna make sense for me financially, then I'll fight. Be happy to fight Degale again. But it's in talks right now. I thought I was gonna have to go back to the UK for a rematch if there was one, but it sounds like there's a possibility it might be here in Minnesota at home for me. So that'd be great if that's the case. But if not, like I said, I'm to go back to London or wherever, to fight again. And I should find out here after the first of the year, hopefully this next week or the week after.
Okay, so you get on the plane, you head back to the Minnesota. So you land in Minnesota. What happens? What are you greeted by?
There was some news media, some local news media waiting at the airport for me to get some footage of me right off the plane, and did a bunch of interviews and signed some autographs, and I went home and hung out with my family, and it started to set in the next day that it was a pretty big deal back here. I mean, we don't the boxing media, especially in Minnesota, the boxing media is not a huge thing. I mean, it's kind of on the back border, especially compared to you guys' coverage over there in the UK. You know, it's a major sport over there, and back here there's baseball, American football, basketball, hockey. Those all get the front page articles, and boxing kind of gets put on the back burner. So it was cool to get kind of recognition that we wouldn't normally get in our sport back here. So everybody's been real great, and it was fun to get home and celebrate with my friends and my family and my fans back here. I still haven't come down off a cloud nine, man.
So now IBF champion of the world. Have you received your belt yet?
Yeah, I got the belt just right before Christmas, man. One of the best Christmas presents I've ever got.
What does it feel like? What did it feel like to have that belt, knowing that you were IBF champion? You beat the #1 super middleweight, according to many people in the world. What does that feel like to you?
Oh man, it's a great accomplishment, but at the same time, it to me it wasn't an upset. You know, I was confident going in that I could get the job done, and so it doesn't really feel. I think most people are making a bigger deal out of it than I am, just because I knew I had what it took to get the job done in the first place. So it's not it's going to change my demeanor or change the way I approach things. So it's but it's cool to it's cool to have a belt, that's for sure.
Did a show earlier on with a few of my colleagues on YouTube community, and we all agreed that your fight was the upset of the year. I mean, I wasn't that surprised of the upset in the manner of the upset, in the way you went about it, and with the ease you went about doing the job. That was what was the upset for me. I thought Degale would have shown a little bit more resistance, a bit more movement, but he just sat on the ropes and you just teed off on him. Were you surprised?
I was a little bit surprised that I had the time that I did. You know, I was surprised a little bit more didn't come back when I was pushing him back to the ropes. But everything was clicking for me, man. I was able to negate the stuff that he was going to try to do, and my trainer Tom Halstead drew up a perfect game plan, man. Like, we knew what his main shots were. We were ready to counter him, and I knew that I couldn't outbox him in the middle of the ring, and or I didn't want to try to outbox him in the middle of the ring, and I had to push him back, and that's what I did, and it worked, man, from round one on. So it was a great game plan, and I was able to execute.
Of the World Super Series, we spoke about the World Boxing Super Series before, and you had your views on it. We talked about it in the pre-fight. We talked about it when you after the fight. Things seem to have changed a bit there, because their rumors are Callum Smith not agree with the fact that he'd have to fight outside of Liverpool and have to fight in Jurgen Bremer's backyard, and there's rumors that he's pulled out. Now, has there been a call put to you about entering that tournament, and would you enter that tournament?
No, I mean, I had heard somebody tweeted me on that there was a chance that Smith was going to pull out, and it was not true. So I mean, I don't pay attention to any of that stuff until it's knocking at my door, man. Yeah, I'm just concerned with whatever's next, and if that's what's next, then I'm all for it. But yeah, hopefully the tournament stays together. I mean, it'd be a shame if somebody pulled out due to not wanting to fight somewhere. I mean, I think we're fighters, you know. We go where the fights are at. I mean, I went to the Gale's hometown to fight. Just go fight, man. It shouldn't be a matter of location or anything like that. Just go there and get the job done.
As IBF champion, would you be prepared to? I know you're talking about your fight anywhere, so it's more of a redundant question, but would you be prepared to replace Smith? Fight Jurgen Bremer.
Yeah, sure, man. If it makes sense for me financially, and if I have enough time to prepare, then yeah, why not? You know, but like I said, I'm not concerned with the hypotheticals. I know that opportunity presents itself, and that's what my team decides to do, and think that's the right. I wouldn't even entertain it. You know, like it's a hypothetical, and if it worked out, then great. If not, then whatever. You know.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this question really as a general question of 2017. One of the things that boxing, YouTube channel earlier on the Truth and Facts about boxing, Bo Bland and a few other YouTubers, we spoke about fighters that say, when offered a fight, they say, well, I need to talk to my manager, I need to talk to the team, motorway. I'm not questioning your heart or your guts or anything like that, because we know what you're about and you have a track record to back that. But when fighters generally who have no real track record, well, you need to talk to my team, I need to talk to my manager, is that a way of saying I'm not interested in this fight, chances, I'm ducking out, or is that genuinely, look, I need to talk to my team?
I think it could be a little bit of both. I mean, um, for the most part, when somebody offers me a fight, I look at it, and if I have enough time to prepare, and if the financial compensation is right, then I want to take the fight. You know, sometimes there's been times where my manager has told me, no, I don't want you to take this fight because it's not the right time, or blah blah blah. But I think for the most part, when I take a fight, I don't like taking fights in short notice unless the opportunity is too great to pass up, like this last one for a world title against. Um, but I don't know. I think a lot of times fighters kind of use that as a crutch to not have to commit to something right away, which is fine. I mean, jump in any decisions that could affect your career, but fighters fight, and that's what I've always done for my career. And if my manager if it makes sense for me, if it makes financial sense, if I have enough time to prepare, then I'm gonna jump in it.
Fair enough. I can't question that. In terms of this year, fight do you think has been? I've put you down as the biggest upset of the year, and many people believe that. What's been the biggest disappointment in 2017 boxing wise for you, or just in terms of boxing in general?
For my career specifically, or boxing in general?
Boxing in general.
The biggest disappointment. I don't know. I thought the year was pretty good overall. I mean, there were some big fights, and you know, I think it was a great year for the sport. That Mayweather McGregor thing was kind of goofy, but I think it brought extra attention to boxing. Klitschko and Joshua was huge, man, as far as heavyweight fights go, and just being a great fight in general. I think that brought a lot of kind of luster back to the heavyweight division. Disappointing, I don't know, man. I guess I'd have to think more about what was disappointing, because there were so many good things that happened in our sport, and in so many different divisions.
What about Rigondeaux and Lomachenko? What were your thoughts on that fight?
You know, I haven't even seen that fight. It was the same night that I fought Degale, and I have it recorded on my DVR. But everybody said the fight was so terrible that that I haven't even took the time to watch it yet. I think that was disappointing that Rigondeaux gave up in the fifth round or sixth round, whatever it was, because he had a hurt hand. But Lomachenko is awesome, man. He's a great fighter, and he was just way too big for Rigondeaux to begin with. I mean, he looks like he's 4 weight classes bigger than him when they're in the ring together. So even though both of those fighters are fantastic boxers and had basically the best amateur pedigrees of all time, I didn't think there was any chance that Rigondeaux was going to make it a fight because he's just too small.
What did you make of Rigondeaux's excuse afterwards of a damaged hand with only a bruise on it, and the suggestion that he quit?
I'm not going to judge anybody for backing out because of an injury. I mean, obviously it's disappointing. You'd want the fight to get fought all the way through, but I've had a bruised hand before, and it hurt a lot more when I bruised it than it did when I've broken my hand before. So I know the boat he's in. I was able to finish the fight, but at the same time, I'm not going to judge a guy for quitting because I'm not in his shoes, so I don't know how he was feeling or what was going on.
Okay, obviously the big fight's coming up between Eubank Jr. and Groves. Who are you seeing the favorite in 2018? Who do you think is going to win and why?
I'm not too familiar with either of those two. I've seen Groves fight more than I have Eubank. I know Eubank's a good combination puncher and pretty quick and throws a lot of punches. But I think Groves has more experience and I think he's a bigger man. I think Eubank's more of a middleweight than he is a super middleweight. So I'd give the advantage to Groves. I know it's going to be a huge fight there in the UK. I wish I could get over there and check it out. Maybe I convinced my promoter to send me over there. I think it's February 17th or something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
Is that when it is?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be sitting ringside to see who I'm going to fight. If there's a possibility of that fight, but no, I think it'll be a great fight, a great atmosphere, a huge rivalry there in the UK, obviously, and if anyone, I'd have to favor Groves just because I've seen him a little bit more, and he's been in some huge fights with Frotch and BWTM, and he's been on the world stage a little bit longer, and he's a bigger man.
There were rumors in the papers talking about you fighting Degale in March. I know you said nothing's really been finalized, but why are we hearing in the UK you'll be fighting Degale in March for a rematch?
I think that's what they were talking about originally. Start of April is when the talks came up for the rematch. That's when they wanted to do it. I'm not sure. I haven't. I let my promoter and my advisor and manager handle that stuff. I just been celebrating the holidays, and once the New Year's is over, I'll talk to them again and see what they've come up with. But from what I heard, if there's a rematch, they'd like to do it in the end of March or start of April.
Okay, so that's something that you're happy with? You'll have time to prepare it like last time, or?
Yeah, I mean, this time, last time I only had, they called me 7 weeks before the fight, and so I had basically 6 weeks to train. So if it's in March or April, I'll have 3 months to train now. I mean, I'd be more than happy with that amount of time. I'm already back to the gym. That was what was great about that last fight is normally I come out of the fight with a little bit more bumps and bruises and I have to take a little bit more time off. But this fight, I didn't have any problems with my hands, no other problems aside from just general soreness. But I was back in the gym as soon as I got back home, and just got done running 4 miles about 2 hours ago. So I'll be ready to go. More than ready to go with 3 months to prepare. That's the most I've ever had to prepare in my life, really.
In terms of a rematch, do you think that you can top the first performance that you did against Degale, or do you think you're going to have a more difficult time second time round?
I think it's going to be more difficult, no doubt about it, because obviously he's going to be coming hard to win his title back, and he wants to erase that loss off his record. But at the same time, I think I will be able to top it because I'll have more time to prepare. I'll be able to. We have an established game plan now to fall back on and to build on top of, and I'm kind of a student of the game, and my coach is the same way. So when we have a baseline to kind of lay out, we both get to work, and we can draw up some great plans. I mean, I've had a few rematches in my career, and every time I've come on the top. So.
That's not a good sign for James Degale, is it?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's talk something else that fighters don't talk a lot about, and it was quite interesting. I noticed that you got some T-shirts out with obviously, trademark. Talk to us about that for a second.
Yeah, I mean, I have my T-shirts. My kind of cool because my girlfriend's sister is the one that makes them, so it helps out her business, and it's a way for me to just get shirts out to my fans. And when back here in Minnesota, when everybody's walking around with shirts on at my fight, it's a pretty cool thing, and it's a personal thing. Like we don't. It's not like a company that makes them or anything like that. It's like I said, my girlfriend's sister makes them, and I'm the one that ships them out to people. So it's kind of keeps me busy, and just a way to make a little bit extra money and get my fans in Team Truax gear.
So how do people get a hold of that sort of that gear, Caleb? Do you have a website they can go to or something like that?
I just usually post it on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and the shirts are $20 or $22 plus shipping, and yeah, you can pay via PayPal at TRUA0024 at gmail.com, and you just send out the money, and I'll send them to you personalized.
Fantastic. Now, while we're on the subject of trademarks and T-shirts and stuff like that, let's talk to you a bit about intellectual property. How much do you know about intellectual property as a fighter?
Not much, man. Not much. I just punch people. That's about it, man. I let my managers and promoters and advisors deal with all that smart people stuff.
Well, intellectual, basically, your fights. So, you know, once you've retired, your promoter, your manager, maybe your promoter, has got the rights to your fights. Long after you've retired, their children's children are making money off of your fights. And you, the fighter, may not you personally, but you, the fighter, speaking in general here, are broke, and the promoter's children's children are making money off of your fights.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the downsides of boxing. I know it's been that way all along, especially with the old classic fights that promoters sell to to the ESPN Classic, and you should see on TV all the time. But I know when I sign a contract with the promoter, that's in the contract, and one of the downsides of boxing. But it's up to us fighters to save our money and live within our means while we're making the money. So hopefully we don't go broke.
What are the things? Give us 3 things you'd like to change in the sport of boxing. I'll see changed come 2018 from 2017.
Obviously, it'd be great to have the best fight the best whenever possible. Because that's beneficial to the sport, and that's what the fans want. I think it'd be great to have like a worldwide central governing body for the sport, so the rules aren't different everywhere you go. That would make it a little bit more legit and not as easy to skate around the rules. And I think the main thing that fans want to see is just more solid judging, or at least holding judges accountable when they screw up scorecards, because I think it really hurts the sport when you get a guy that should be winning, and the judges see it otherwise, and everybody else in the arena thinks that the one guy won, and the only guy who matters says the other guy won. So I think judging, a central governing body, and then the best fighting the best would be 3 good changes to me.
Fantastic.
I doubt they're going to happen, but be good changes.
No, I doubt they're going to happen as well. But it's nice to think that they will change, eh? Your division, the super middleweight division, was in that division, and he went up to light heavyweight. In fact, he went and fought in the heavyweight division. Do you think we'll ever see in the next 2 or 3 years a super middleweight or light heavyweight move up to the heavyweight division and get a shot at the world heavyweight title and win it?
No, I don't think so. I mean, back in the day, heavyweights were smaller. Roy Jones moved up and fought the smallest heavyweight champion at the time, John Ruiz. Nowadays, the guys are just too big, man. Like Joshua's 6'6", 250, and Wilder's 6'7", 230 or 220, something like that. There's no way that a guy that's my size is going to be able to compete with them. I mean, you get Anthony Joshua shots, and it's game over. So I think the heavyweights nowadays are just too big. Whereas in the past they were a little bit smaller and more skilled in the past, but there's a little bit better chance that there could be a crazy upset just because of just the general size.
Your thoughts on Andre Ward at one point, who was speculating on possibly fighting Anthony Joshua?
I love Andre Ward. I mean, he's an absolutely fantastic fighter, defensively, offensively, one of the best of our generation. You know, like he retired on top. He was undefeated since he's been like 12 years old or something like that. Great fighter, but that's crazy to think he could fight Anthony Joshua. Joshua's just too big. I mean, Andre Ward is the better fighter. He's more skilled. He's more accomplished fighter. But there's a reason why they have weight divisions. You know, he's just too small.
Definitely too small. When you look at the world of boxing today, Caleb, and you look at 2018, what would be your ideal, mapping out 2018, what would be your ideal like pathway, and how many times do you want to fight in 2018?
I'm a guy that likes to stay active, so 3 fights would be good for me in 2018. I mean, if this rematch happens, that'd be a good start, and then possibly people have been talking about me fighting the winner of the Super Six. That'd be awesome if that was able to come to fruition. But I just want to fight, man. Like I said, for me to fight 3 times in 2018 would be awesome, because the last couple of years I've been relatively inactive. I would love to fight 3 times a year, if not 4. You know, so I just want to fight, man.
Final question: what type of a champion are you now, Caleb? Are you going to be a guy that becomes better as champion? Are you going to be a champion that, you know, in his first defense may be complacent? Are you going to be a champion that is what sort of a champion, or how has this impacted your life? Or are you happy the fact that you've made it, you've become champion finally?
Well, obviously I'm happy that I become champion. Who wouldn't be, you know? But at the same time, I know that defending the title is even harder than winning it. You know, like that's when you have the bullseye in your back, and everybody's coming for your belt. So I definitely won't be complacent. Like I told you, I'm already back in the gym, and working on things that my coach thought was could have been improved in the fight with Degale. I mean, even even the night of the fight, we get back to the hotel, and my whole team's in the room celebrating and having some drinks and just talking about the fight. And my coach is in the corner by himself watching the replay, and stops us all in the middle of our celebration and says, you did this wrong in this round, and this is what we're going to work on when we get back home. And I'm like, hold on, man. Let me celebrate at least one day, you know. But no, man, I definitely won't get complacent. This has been a dream come true for me, and I don't want it to stop after one fight. You know, I want to hold that belt for a while, and set my family up for the future, and within the next year or 2 by defending it a few times and making some money, and just cementing my future and my legacy in the sport.
After the fight, you clearly won the fight. It wasn't the script. You were meant to fall over, or come over and get beaten on points and go home like the good American. That didn't happen. Frank Warren was rebuilt, had this reunion with James Degale, and it all went pear-shaped. What did Frank Warren have to say to you, and what did James Degale have to say to you at the end of the fight?
I didn't say a word to either one of them after the fight. They were both kind of in shock, I think. And normally, you know, the fighters have some words after the fight in the ring, and I said congrats and just touched him on the glove or whatever. But he didn't say a word. None of his team said a word. Frank Warren didn't say a word to me after the fight, man, which kind of surprised me. I thought he would have at least came to the locker room and said congrats or something, But he was in the ring and shook my manager's hand and my coach's hand, but didn't say a word to me.
Wow, he was shocked. I think more shocked than anything. You talked about Degale's bad tendencies. What were those tendencies you felt he had at the time?
I don't know if he had bad tendencies. I mean, I just saw that the only way for me to win the fight was to put pressure on him and get him backing up, and that's what I was able to do. I wouldn't say they had bad tendencies. I just was able to execute what I wanted to do.
Fantastic. Did I miss anything out, Caleb, before we finish?
I don't think so, man.
Okay. Well, we wish you a happy 2018, as obviously this is New Year's Eve. Do you have a message to your fans and people are listening, and a message to James Degale?
Just thank you for all the support, especially all my new British boxing fans. I mean, I think I got more Twitter followers from the UK now than I do back home from the United States. And thank you to all Team Truax back here who's always supported me. And I hope James Degale gets healthy and is able to continue his career. If it's against me, then great. If not, then that's great too. Hopefully he bounces back, and not against me. Hopefully he doesn't bounce back against me. But if he doesn't fight me, hopefully he bounces back and has a great 2018 as well.
Callum Truax, once again, thank you so much for talking to BWTM Sports, giving us your time on New Year's Eve, and wishing you all the very best for 2018, champ.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, champ.
Bye.
Bye. So there you have it, the IBF super middleweight champion of the world, exclusive on BWTM Sports, confirming that he doesn't know exactly when he'll be fighting, but the rumors are, or what he's been hearing from his team, is going to be end of March 2018. Whether it be James Degale or not, we're not sure. But of course, we'll bring you any breaking news on that fight. Well, this is it from us from BWTM Sports. I hope you've enjoyed this exclusive with the IBF super middleweight champion of the world, Caleb Truax. And we wish you all, we didn't wish you a Merry Christmas. We can't wish you that, but we'll wish you all a Happy New Year. Thank you all so much for your support. And we'll keep bringing you these exclusives in 2018 and plus more. Take care.